Hello everyone, welcome back, and unfortunately this is the last episode on the SMP because I'm joining Just Java. So for the last episode we're going to be touring the world and I have a lot of awesome builds and farms to go over, but before we get started I need to do something with the island, which is looking really bare. I'm short on time so I'm not going to be able to do anything huge, but without further ado, let's get started into a quick time lapse. We're back, and I mean, for what little time I have, this really does not look bad at all. I had enough time to put a river in the middle. I added a small hill right here just so it's not so flat, and then I just bone mealed kind of everywhere. Maybe I went a little bit too much of the bone meal, but I don't have much time. Let's just get started on this world tour. And I think we'll start off at spawn, kind of at least try to go in chronological order a little bit. And, you know, spawn was the first project we did. So let's go head over there. And we are now at spawn. You know, it's in a little bit of rough shape. There's like chests and stuff everywhere. But, I mean, we did actually a pretty good job terraforming this cliff. It was like the first thing we did. Captain Diamonds helped me. And we got a water elevator inside. This farm is a little bit of an eyesore. I don't know who put up that cobblestone wall, but it really don't look great. It's a little bit terraformed here. But yeah, overall I actually think it looks pretty good. And then we have the villager trading hall down here. And this is Paul's base. He was kind of a newer member. Good friend of mine, but he never really played much, so pretty small. And then, you know, there wasn't a whole lot at spawn. Like, we had a villager breeder, sheep farm. That was mainly when we were getting netherite. Two separate sugarcane farms. And we have this little creeper farm right here. Nothing too crazy. We did have a pillager outpost over here. We never actually used it though. If you're wondering what this is what Paul's mega base was going to be. He never really played much. Like, he built this and then he stopped playing. So, I think it was supposed to be like an aircraft hangar or something. Unfortunately, I don't think that project's ever going to get finished. But, you know, it is what it is. Oh yeah, and then I can't forget, there is an iron farm up here, as well as Lincoln's base. Lincoln stopped playing pretty quickly after the start of the SMP. Man, spawn is actually quite laggy. And I guess there's one more thing. There is a pumpkin farm down here, completely hidden by dirt. I should really sleep. Well, I'm going into the nether next anyway. Okay, well, I mean, that's pretty much all of spawn, so I'm gonna move on to probably just the nether or the end. I don't know. I guess we can do the nether highway, actually. I mean, the nether highway isn't much. This way, we have skeleton farm, desert. The desert has been absolutely destroyed for sand. I think we also have actually mesa biome down here as well now. While we're here, we might as well check out the skeleton farm. This was like also a project we did, I think, on the first episode. You know, it was kind of just like bare minimum EXP farm. It was really good early game just to get a little bit of EXP. I think Derek actually decorated this room. You can't actually see the spawner, but if we give it a moment, skeletons should come down. Oh, we got our first one. Yeah, I mean, it's a little slow, but I mean, if you just wait a little bit, you'll start getting a steady flow of skeletons. And we already got like an enchanted bow and stuff. Really, really not a bad farm at all. Definitely very good early game. I think I'm gonna move on to the end. Yeah, probably the end. Probably just the ender next. And here we are, we're at the stronghold. And it was kind of crazy how we had like an amethyst geode kind of like it was actually like around the portal. Like it had like blocks all the way going across here. It was kind of crazy. The main thing I wanted to show you is the Ender. Hopefully the server isn't lagging. This is the Ender that Derek built. He got this after we lost all of our stuff actually in the end, because it was super easy source of EXP. Like this is probably our fastest EXP farm, and like look at the size of this. Like it doesn't even have to be huge, and you get an absolutely insane amount of EXP. It's also very loud, but that was extremely helpful when we had to get all new stuff, because we needed a lot of levels to combine for, you know, like max armor and such. There's nothing really else to show in the end. We actually have quite a few of these gateways. We've killed the Ender Dragon quite a few times for just achievements or like newer players who just haven't beat it yet. I've only killed it probably once or twice on this SMP, and we are back at spawn. I think we're gonna move on to the gold farm next, which is also in the Nether, and I think that'll actually be the last thing in the Nether, or it'll be actually the last thing that's not in the overworld. And if I am correct, I can't really see with the fog. It should be just next to our portal, and here's the gold farm. I didn't actually build this. This was all Derek, but I think he needed gold for like the sugarcane farm or whatever, because he needed a ton of rails. But I mean, this thing is pretty crazy efficient. Also, apparently it kills my FPS. I'm getting a solid 30 right now. That's crazy. Like, just looking at this thing drops my FPS from 150 to like 40. That's just absolutely awesome. If you just anger them, like, I mean, this thing, like, gets you a crazy amount of levels. I don't know which actually gives you more, the Ender or this, but both a lot. I think probably the Ender still gets you more levels, but this thing gets a lot of gold, a lot of levels. I mean, we've taken out like a ton of gold from this thing, so it doesn't actually have like that much right now. Ton of rotten flesh though. I mean, got like almost 6 double chests of just rotten flesh. But I think I'm gonna fly away from this thing before like my computer actually explodes. And I think it is finally time to move back to the overworld and to the ocean base, actually. This isn't gonna be a super long world tour, actually. Our base really isn't much better performance-wise for my computer, but it is what it is. I'm actually gonna sleep real quick before we start exploring everything, just so it can be day. I think I'll start off with the dome. So I built this, and we have a super smelter. Wait, is that a super smelter? I don't know. I'm not gonna get distracted. So we built this just for a storage system. It's pretty huge. Took us a while to get out all of the water, but it wasn't too bad. And let's just absolutely fill the chests, and we have a little bit of junk all over. We have dog. But all of our farms, well, at least most of them, some of them we haven't gotten to yet, are linked up to this. Like, the mob farm, we don't actually have that much gunpowder since we use quite a lot of it, but, I mean, we have just double chests of, like, pretty much anything else. Absolutely insane. Wood farm, which isn't really used much, but tridents, we actually don't have that much right now. I'll show you the giant farm later. Derek with this insane giant farm. It's crazy. We've been using a lot of tridents, though. There's also copper from the giant farm. Nobody really uses copper, though, I'm gonna be honest. The raid farm is over here, and we have just tons, like, double chest upon double chests of totems. Like, we've thrown out a ton of totems because this thing just keeps overflowing. Bunch of other drops from the raid farm itself as well. Ton of emeralds, although we do use a lot of the emeralds. Sugarcane farm over here. I will get to that in a second. Derek just built that sugarcane farm. It's pretty crazy. And then we have iron farm over here, which is constantly overflowing with iron. And cobblestone farm, which we actually turned off so it would stop overflowing, because we don't actually need that much cobblestone. Yeah, all these are linked up with water streams, and it looks pretty crazy. Like, we just have like glass tubes along the ocean floor. you know, just everywhere. I guess the next thing is the 300 milestone. And it's kind of crazy to me. When we originally built this, it's because we hit 150 subscribers. In the span of, I don't know, not that long, maybe like a month or two, we've doubled that number. So now we're both up to 300, and we're going up pretty fast. The next thing is the mob farm. We built this. This is like the first thing we built. This was before the dome, actually. If we go down here, I can show you. We had to mine pretty far down. Mining through deep slate was a little bit of a pain, but this thing is absolutely huge. And as you saw earlier, it outputs a crazy amount of mobs. You can't really tell right now because I'm too close to it, so mobs can't actually spawn. But, you know, a little bit will spawn, not very much. This mob farm design is absolutely awesome. So I don't remember who made it, but I will link it in the description. We also had to remove a bit of water for this glass part, but it wasn't too bad. This tree farm, I think, is Derek's design. He built this because he needed a lot of wood. Actually, I think it's because for all of these chests, like, that used an absolutely massive amount of wood. In the dome, like, shulker boxes upon shulker boxes of just, like, wood got put into all those chests. Next is probably the wheat farm. Just built this recently for the sheep farm, which I'll get into in a second. This is actually really satisfying to use. You know, just press this lever, and all these waterlogged trapdoors will drop their water across the farm and push everything to the center. We didn't really have to use this after the sheep farm, but it was definitely really nice. I guess on the topic of the sheep farm, we'll do that next. This is all pink sheep. The original plan was to do 4 of each color of wool, but I needed like 10,000 pink wool for the tree. So at least temporarily I made them all pink, but we don't actually have time to actually do anything with this farm. And it is already overflowing after I took 10,000 blocks of pink wool out of it. So, and it's overflowing all the way to the back of these hoppers. That is insane. All these hoppers are full of pink wool. I mean, this is a pretty crazy sheep farm. I mean, I think it's like 64 sheep, if I'm not wrong. You're probably wondering what this house was. I never really showed it. This is another member, very new as well, but a good friend of mine. He built this house. He never really played too much. I think this was actually a tutorial house. It wasn't his design, but it looks pretty good. He just put it on the small island. This project is unfinished, so Derek was going to build a small version of the ocean base, but he ran out of time because Derek is also going to be joining the SMP that I'm joining, but I'll get more on that at the end of the episode. This is the iron farm. This iron farm design is actually insane. I'll link it in the description. So it's got 4 pods of villagers, and basically right as the iron golems spawn, they get teleported out of here, because this thing can, how iron farms work, they can only like spawn 1 iron golem at a time, but since we're teleporting them to the nether, it doesn't have to wait for the iron golems to die to spawn another one. And if we go look in the nether, we can actually see how they get killed. Oh, and a little dangerous, oh my gosh, server's lagging. We're gonna pop a totem, aren't we? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. Okay, well, a little close call there. But the iron golems, I mean, they do get stuck. I just dropped my sword in there. I mean, it's netherite, so it's fine. Oh, I picked it up. Okay, I managed to pick it up somehow. Okay, well, I think I also actually dropped rockets in there too. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, they do get stuck on this portal, but it's fine, because as soon as new iron golems come in, they push them into the lava, and then the items actually get sent back into the overworld. So they get shot through this portal, which ends up back to the iron farm, like right here. And then there's a hopper minecart, I think underneath like this block, or I think these 3 blocks, and it just picks up all of the iron, and it sends it into the dome. This is the cobblestone farm that I mentioned earlier. and it's Derek's design again. It's just got a TNT duper that's currently inactive because we turned the farm off. But basically all the cobblestone, or I guess stone, gets pushed to the center, and then TNT gets dropped down, it blows it up, and all the cobblestone gets funneled into here, into some hoppers, and they get sent all the way to the dome. And then we got the villager here, which is basically just a villager breeder that has been decorated as a giant villager head. Derek actually built that completely. We were gonna do a villager trading hall actually inside the island, but again, we ran out of time. We had a ton of projects that we wanted to get done, and we just never ended up actually being able to do them. But if we follow this glass tube here, we will see the drowned farm. This thing is absolutely massive. Derek built this, and it has some crazy rates. Like, you get tridents upon tridents with this thing. Like, can I stop dropping my sword? You have to wait a second, because all the drowns spawn in here, and they have to get pushed up by water elevators. But if you wait 1 second, there'll just be a constant stream of just drowns just coming up here. It's crazy. Yep, and we just have tons of drowns just flowing up here. And we can just get hundreds of tridents. Man, we're already almost done with this world tour. What do we do next? Oh, right, the raid farm. This thing that's just floating in the sky. This thing is absolutely crazy. I'm not going to turn it on right now, but basically, you come in here with Bad Omen, which we get from the Pillager Outpost, which is just down there. And basically how it works, you stand in here, and basically this trapdoor will periodically drop you down, and there's a villager down there. And because you get close to the villager, it'll start a raid, and it'll send you back up with this water stream. Oh my gosh, I need to stop dropping my sword. Whatever, I'm gonna continue with the explanation. And all waves of the raid get spawned at the same time. I don't know how it works. I will link the farm design in the description. They all spawn up here. The Ravagers get killed by the lava, since they won't actually be able to fit. But pretty much everything, all the mobs get funneled down to here, where you basically just swipe at them with your sword. You kill all of them, and then you'll get dropped down again, and you just keep farming. All the items get dropped down and sent into the dome. Let me find where my sword actually dropped. I have no idea. There's the villager, by the way. Oh god. I just popped a totem. How did I pop a totem there? I have no idea. Oh, I picked up my sword. Okay, fantastic. There's not much else. We have the nether portal. Originally, the nether portal was going to be moved onto the island. Again, we ran out of time for a ton of stuff. This cloud up here was just to get the Sky Trader achievement, which basically just you trade with a villager at build height and you get it. I think this guy's actually a mending villager. Yeah, he's a mending. There used to be more villagers up here, I'm pretty sure, but I'm pretty sure they walked off. That's alright. I think that's actually everything except for the island. Like, the island you just saw, we just did a time lapse finishing this thing up. The inside of it is actually empty, and of course we got the cherry blossom tree that we built last episode, which required, 10,000 blocks of wool. We really need to light this thing up. Maybe I'll just sleep. But that's actually the end of the world tour. I can't think of anything else that we built that I have to showcase. This has been a pretty crazy SMP, and I thank you for all the support. I have tripled the amount of subscribers I had at the beginning of the SMP, more than that. The SMP that I'm joining is called Just Java. You can check out the episodes that some of the members have put out on it. And I will actually see you guys on Just Java. It'll be my next video, and I'm super excited. And that's actually the end of this video. I will see you guys all in the next one. Thanks for all the support this SMP. Later.